What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Friday? Man, this week is almost over. How about that? It's been a long one, been a doozy, been drama-filled week for the Titans. Multiple wild news stories that we have all been following. We're going to wrap those up in a bow and kind of be done with them because there's more drama over the weekend for the Titans because they're going to Houston, the birthplace of the organization, and playing against the team that the owner hates the most. And the coach has no more wiggle room. So there is a lot on the line here for this game. So can Brian Callahan survive some more drama as this officially game weekend is upon us here on this Friday morning? So Easton, we're going to go through all of these. We have a couple of, I think, intriguing questions for the audience today to figure out where does everybody stand on this. I always like to have on the record opinions from us, from everybody involved. Hey, Orlando says just in time. My grilled cheese just finished. Orlando having a grilled cheese.
Morning grilled cheese is some crazy work.
In the morning is living life, man. I don't hate it. It could be cheesy toast, right? That's breakfast. But no, we're gonna have a good conversation there, and we're also going to go back in time, just 21 days, just 3 weeks ago, and a prediction that I made 3 weeks ago on a Friday, and just kind of draw that line in the sand and try to define where we are in that situation. So there's a lot there. Then we have good news as well. So Easton, what's up? Let's get this thing off and rolling and wrap up this crazy weekday.
Yeah, what's up? Good morning, Austin. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone's having a great start to the end of their week. Ryder Cup weekend is upon us. Got NFL and college football going on. Ryder Cup was teeing off in the wee hours of the morning this morning, and that's something that I will be trying to pay attention to all weekend. I know that that's a big deal for a lot of us golf fans. So hope everyone's having a great start to a big sports weekend as well. Help us out. Jump in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube. Like the show. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Extremely helpful. It's free. It's easy. We really appreciate you doing that, being a friend of the show this morning. And then jump in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts on today's topics. We got a lot to talk about. And Malachi, Eric, Richie, Cletus, Daniel, Bork, and Orlando already all here. Good morning to you. Good morning to American Toff and Amnesia and Titans Kyle. Some familiar faces in there. Jump in there with them. We want to hear your thoughts on a preview Friday. Austin, let's get started.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here on a Friday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com. We are Nashville's on-demand sports network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we are powered by the BTA Sports app, Easton. For later on in the show, I have a 3-leg parlay in the NFL for the BTA Sports helped me put together. So I will discuss that for all of you guys since I'm not on the game day show. But we do have to make sure that you like the show, you share the show, that you go give us a 5-star Google review as we post the show on our Twitter X timeline segment by segment. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Threads for more great Titans content. We do have to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you. Wilson County Hyundai, if you need a new car, that's where to go. In Lebanon, online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart. 2 locations in Columbia and Gallatin. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows, you get 2 for free, plus an extra 10% off of that too, and no payments for 2 years at windownation.com. Hey, Ramon says he did his 5-star Google review. That's fantastic. And then American Top says, I read Easton's article about Jarvis Brownlee. Good read, but makes you wonder why you drafted him to begin with. Well, I think – oh, are you there? You're muted. You muted yourself.
I was cracking open my Celsius. I didn't want to interrupt your
you didn't think it's like
I mean, like sometimes it's nice.
Beer or something like that?
yeah.
Hey, which is totally happening around the country.
It's a Celsius high noon this morning for me. Yeah. What I was gonna he's a 5th round pick, like it wasn't like it took a top 100 swing on the guy.
And also Ryan Carthon was the GM, right? Now, I still think people that were involved in the trade were involved in the draft pick, like Chad Brinker, namely. But how much was he involved? And Mike Borgonzi's got a different view of cornerbacks, and there's so many things. I think here's the crazy
I talked
thing.
about it at length yesterday. The difference between these front offices.
Yes,
we had a pretty good conversation at the back half of yesterday's episode about it.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're going to start today, because there is a wild. This has been a crazy week, right? It is Friday morning. I remember like Wednesday evening, just sitting there like trying to decompress after all the stupidness that was the Brian Callahan giving up the play calling. It's not going to the most natural person that would take it, you'd think, with how football staffs work, not the OC, no, the quarterback coach who is on the sideline because he is Cam Ward's like guy. That's where Cam Ward has the ear of Bo Hardegree. They have that relationship right there on the sideline, right? And then
except now he might not be.
Except now he might be in the booth, which is the whole point of why I thought you did it for Bo Hardegree in the first place. And then you trade Jarvis Brownlee Jr. for pennies like hours later, and nobody can make sense of it because the Titans have done the worst job possible at making people understand why they wanted to do something. Then you send the coach out there for a press conference to explain something that he didn't do. Did he even want to do it? Not the fact that he didn't do it. Did he want to do it? Did he agree with it? Does his other coaches on his staff that he hired, do they agree with it, disagree with it? And then Jarvis Brownlee Jr. is like, I was taking a nap, man. I woke up and I was a Jet, and nobody explained anything to me. And because nobody explained anything to anybody about Jarvis Brownlee Jr. getting traded to the Jets. It makes no sense. He's one of your best bright pieces. And so now everybody's having to speculate, to dig, and nobody believes anybody, right? So I'm sitting here on Wednesday evening like, it's Wednesday, and like we have way more time to go this week. It has been a wild week. Easton, describe your week for us.
A lot of the stuff you just talked about. It makes sense. I'm driving back and forth to the Titans facility, talking to some people, having some impromptu meetings with some people in that building, and kind of trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, man, I won't do the whole rant again from yesterday morning, but this week, I'm not exhausted with this job. I am exhausted with the fact that I wait all year long to get to the actual game weeks. And so far we're about a month into the game weeks, and I've not gotten to do the parts of this job that I love the most, which are, it's a Wednesday. Let's break down some film. Hey, let's talk about how this guy's developing. Hey, let's talk about why the Titans are running so much 12 personnel. Hey, let's talk about the football games. But no, we must talk about the soap opera because one, there's so much soap, and two, the football has been awful.
But that's Easton. Welcome to the industry. You think this industry was created off of talking X's and O's? Hell no.
I didn't say that. I'm saying can we talk? I'm not saying can we only talk that. I'm saying can we talk any of it? You know what I mean? Like if we were covering the Bills, we'd be talking a little X's and O's so far this year because it's a good football team.
Well, of course. But you'd also, you'd be talking about like, what are people thinking about? Anyway, we've been there before, right? At least Zach and I have been there before, where you talk about the Titans during playoff run periods, where you're talking about how the Titans are being stacked up against the other Super Bowl contenders and why so-and-so is being disrespected and Ryan Tannehill's playing better than anybody gives him credit for and all this other stuff, right?
Yes.
Like it's always about
it's the best unscripted soap opera in the history of the world, the NFL. It's what makes it so great. But just think back to all of our shows here on A to Z Sports YouTube this week. I don't think we've talked about the games once.
Because there's been news. There's been
I know, and I hate it.
I hate it. It's been crazy because now you've got Sean in the chat who's like, I'm confused on why you get rid of Cheeto if they plan on moving Brownlee. So like you're going all the way back to like February.
I know.
So this is what this week has done.
So are you telling me you don't wish we could talk about the football even a little bit? You don't wish we could like
of course. But like we're gonna get into that, and we'll talk about that some towards the end. But I'm
yearning for this weekend to give us something football game worthy to discuss.
Sure, but here we are, and it's Friday, and Daniel says football, please. We are going to get to football because the fact of the matter is, this Titans team that has been dealing with outside noise. At least the media and the fan base has been juggling outside noise for the last 4.5. Today is day number 5, right? How is the coaching staff and the roster dealt with this? Because they're going on the road. They're 0-3. They're playing another 0-3 team, yet they're a touchdown underdog to that other 0-3 team. They just got their ass kicked by the Colts at home by a lot of points and looked miserable doing it. The coach has been a PR disaster at this point, and then so is the front office now with Jarvis Brownlee, right? And then, by the way, not just you're going on the road to a division rival and you're a touchdown underdog, your owner hates this franchise more than anything in her life, in her home city where this franchise was born. So there is so much pressure on this game, and there's been so many distractions on top of it. So let's just go ahead and toss out this first question, Easton. I think this is the right way to just jump into it.
All right.
Do we all think individually, do you guys think the Texans game is a win or go home spot for Titans head coach Brian Callahan? Do we think this is a win or go home spot for Brian Callahan? We're going to get to all of that. It's a yes or no, but I think we all know there's no simple answers to any question about this Titans team. So is this a win or go home spot for Brian Callahan? We will get your answers and discuss next, but the Barton Drury Insurance Group can help you out with whatever insurance questions you may have, because if I'm signing up for insurance, I have all questions, no answers, because I know nothing about it. But the Barton Drury Insurance Group, they have all the answers. They can help you out, whether it's Zach and I helping get our employee benefits set and going, and when we hire new employees that live in new states, you got to do new things on the benefits side and the workers' comp policy side, and the Barton Drury support staff is always there to make it easy on us so we don't have to lift a finger right there. So you can check them out online. BartonDrury.com is the website. They can also help you out if you're looking for your personal insurance for your family, for your home, your auto, rental, umbrella policies as well, 401k planning. They got you covered across the board. And once again, give them a call at the phone numbers on the screen, 615-806-1265. You call them. You say, hey, A to Z said to call you to see if you can save me money on my insurance, right? And then
exactly say exactly that. Say,
no, hey, I'm dead serious. Say that.
A to Z sent us. What's going on?
A to Z said to call you. Can you help me save money on my insurance? And they will say, yeah, we'll work on that. And then we will enter you in a giveaway to win a free Titans jersey of your choice from A to Z Sports. But you have to call Barton Drury Insurance
giveaway, aren't we?
We're getting very close. It'll be like, I'm traveling next week. So it'll maybe be after I get back.
After?
But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're getting close to
get in.
Yeah. So jump in on it at BartonDrury.com.
BTA Sports, better for betters. We appreciate them being a part of the show, and we appreciate them helping us make some money on Sundays. Used BTA Sports to inform my own little pet project, Primetime Props. Last night went a perfect 4 for 4, thanks to BTA. So appreciate them for the sweep, and we appreciate them for helping us out this weekend in advance. I appreciate them helping us place some bets and win some money.
All right, so Easton.
Well, that's the wrong thing. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. That's for a minute from now.
What'd you hit?
It's a graphic that we have planned, but it's the wrong graphic.
Yeah, hey, easy there. Do you, to the chat you go, do you think this Texans game is a win or go home spot for Titans head coach Brian Callahan? What are you seeing from the chat thus far?
I am seeing must win from Raz. I am seeing no. Him giving up play calling bought him some time. Depends on if he comes back home and gets booed. So that would mean he has at least 3 more games because they won't be back until they play the Patriots. Devin says no. He can spread the blame on Bo Hardegree now as long as he doesn't screw up time management and big picture stuff. Let's put a pin in this. The idea of who's going to get blame or praise for what based on the weekend, because I actually think that Brian not having the play calling is what's best for everybody, but also he's in a no-win situation. And I'd like to kind of talk through that. I think that either way, he's going to get screwed here. Yeah. Let's see. Belva says, of course it is. Of freaking course it is. A loss equals getting fired. He best not lose to the Texans, says Rashid. Eric says no because Amy Adams Strunk is incompetent. So
what?
Interesting.
You would think that.
I think some fans would say Amy's incompetent.
Yes.
And yes, both ways. I think people could argue that. So interesting. All right. Henry says no, but he must cover the spread. Yeah, I like the idea that the front office and the ownership group are like, this guy better at least make us some money this weekend. Lane says yes because Miss Amy overreacts after Houston games. Yep. Will, I think we need to lose this game to elicit the change we deserve. So he's hoping that it happens. Darren, no, giving up play calling by some time. It's early in the season. Matthew, yes, if we don't win, they are going to fire his butt. So real split in the chat, Austin. Not surprised. People aren't sure what to think anymore. You and I were talking yesterday about how another frustration of mine, and I'm sure a frustration of people in the building, because Brian Callahan is in the place where he's at now, and he has been a story or the story in 2 of the 3 games so far, and the seat feels as hot as ever. Every single Monday, dare I say from now until the end of the season, unless things like dramatic, like unless they just start rattling, oh, they've won 4 in a row. Like, okay, well, if they dramatically turn it around, but assuming they continue to struggle through a rebuilding year, even if it gets to like where we thought it would be, outside of the firing range, outside of incompetence and game, like it's still every single Monday, even if the football team should be the story, Monday morning is going to narratively become Brian Watch. We're on Brian Watch. Is this the week? Is this the week they do it? Do they pull the plug? And that stinks. I hate that.
Yeah. Well, it's like, his Monday press conferences start between 12:30 and 1 p.m. Central Time every Monday. Mm-hmm. Especially when they're at home. If they're traveling, it might be a little different. But before that press conference, he has a meeting with the football team and then a meeting with the executives, right? So that includes Amy Adams Strunk, Brinker, Borgonzi. I'm sure Ziegler's in there, Reggie McKenzie, Bert Nihill, who all knows in that room. But the higher
everybody important and occasionally Amy is what I've been led to understand.
And I'm guessing Amy will be there every Monday because of
right now,
the temperature of the situation, right? And so it's everybody that would be in the room if there is, well, then you have to add the PR person, the HR person, if there is a firing. So like if Brian walks in there and there's like a new, like the HR person's just sitting over there in the corner, it's like, damn it, here we go. But like if the HR person's not there, then okay, another week. But that's how all that kind of plays out. So this is not a win or go home for Brian Callahan. It could be, but it's not just vaguely. Like there's a specific situation has to happen Sunday for Brian Callahan to get fired. That I think is on the table because of the opponent, where it's at, and all the stuff that we've just talked about that's happened this week and the last month. I don't think that's going to play out, but it is on the table. So my official answer for, is this a win or go home game for Brian Callahan? No, it is not, but he could be going home Monday, Tuesday at some point.
Right. So your answer is, it sounds kind of like it's a maybe.
No. So win or go home? No. Like,
right.
If he wins, great.
Here's what I'm going to say. Let me see if you agree with me.
Okay.
Win or go home? No. Competent or go home? Yes.
Yeah.
It's a competent or go home game. This is if the Titans go to Houston and if they win, green light, cool. Like I say that every Monday is going to be Brian Watch. If they win, thank God, Monday morning, we will, like, on this show, I refuse to let us program, will Brian be fired if they win the game? Can we agree on that right now? We're going to talk about winning the game on Monday. There's no way they're firing him on Monday if they win the game.
Hey,
right?
Mike Vrabel got fired after his last game, and it was a win.
All right.
Gotcha.
Now you're just being difficult. But like, you agree with me, right? Like, they win, there's no chance he gets fired. 0%. If they lose, and it's a hard-fought game, and the team, like, the offense scores more than single-digit points. They don't get blanked by a Texans defense. They get outclassed by a team with more talent, and we're not doing the whole game management. Did they challenge? Didn't they challenge? Why did they go? Why didn't they go thing? Then I also think there's no chance he gets fired. If this would be the third time in 4 games now, we are talking about a big end of half moment or a big rules issue or whatever weird, I said on the show yesterday that this team desperately needs a string of some very standard operating procedure football games. Like, my keys to the game this weekend are every offensive drive ends either well past or well short of midfield. Every catch is made clearly and inbounds. The Titans are on defense in the final minute of both halves. These are the keys to the game for Brian Callahan. Is let's do some really standard thing. Every third down results in either a first down or a 3rd and long. We don't get close to 4th down. We don't have to make those decisions. I'm mostly joking because you can't just avoid situational football, but it sure would be nice if they didn't have to make some weird decisions and be put in some weird spots, because that's what will lead to this being a problematic weekend for Brian Callahan. If he's the story again for some decision-making process, which he didn't really have an excuse before, I don't think, in the eyes of fans, but everyone understands now he really doesn't have an excuse. He's not play calling, right? This isn't like the rules thing where and I really don't think this was unfair to say a part of that rules thing was he's about to try to call a play, his rules guy get in his ear and say, don't challenge. And so what's he supposed to do when he's got 13 seconds left before the comms cut off between he and the quarterback? I don't know if everyone understands this. Like, does everybody know? Everybody knows that the comms in the quarterback's ear aren't live until the end of the play clock, right? Like, so just so people know, like, that's part of the difficulty of play calling and managing a game, that you only have I don't know,
10 seconds, like 25 to 15, right?
I think it's 25 to 15 before it cuts off. So that's a situation where it's like, it has to be better. Obviously, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense why you were juggling multiple things. Now you're not. So no excuses. So to put all of this in one firm sentence, because I'm kind of rambling here, if they look competent and Brian is not a story for some decision-making process, and the offense does not get basically blanked by the Texans, they score more than, if they walk away with 9 points on 3 field goals, that won't be very good. Then there's no chance he's getting fired.
Yeah. So
that's my opinion.
While you were talking, I made a graph. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but like I was
wondering what you did. There's a flow chart.
Yes. So let's see if we can all make this.
I was trying to get you to nod along with me, and you were just deep in thought on something. All right.
So Callie fired.
Right.
Titans win. Yes, not fired. Titans win. No, maybe fired. Compete, not fired. Incompetent, his fault, fired. Not his fault, maybe fired. So that's kind of how it goes, right?
Right.
Like, that is what I did in my chicken scratch on my little tiny notepad.
That's basically it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's almost like is a bad college quarterback good in the NFL? Is his name Josh Allen? Yes. Okay, he's good. If his name's not Josh Allen and he wasn't good in college, he's not going to be good in the NFL. It's the same thing.
Right.
Like, that's the chart. So now we have some super chats in here, a lot of them actually. So we're going to go ahead and get to those, and then I want to address a comment from Yendis that set this up perfectly for some material that we have. And he just says, you guys sound like the national media talking about how Cam Ward's at least talked about number 1 overall pick, and then talking about Cam Ward. Shake my head. Because the story is not about Cam Ward. The story is about the head coach who is blundering so many things in the first 3 weeks of the season. Right? We have discussed Cam Ward. Whenever we try to discuss Cam Ward fairly, we get dumped on because we're saying Cam Ward's not that great right now.
Right.
Because Cam Ward is not playing great football.
He's playing like a rookie in his first month.
Which we don't expect
exactly like you'd expect him to look.
He's making really, really nice throws. Like I when we were sitting there at Lane Shark Bar and Grill on Sunday, and it was either in the first half or close to halftime, I was like, Cam's either the best player on the Titans offense or the worst player on the Titans offense, depending on what play it is. But there's no in between. They're like, you talk about the Titans needing something normal to happen. Cam Ward also needs something normal to happen. He's either making an incredible throw, like through a window with a crazy arm angle because there's 3 defenders with like 8 arms flashing between there, and he gets it there, and then Calvin really drops it. or he like takes a terrible sack and he missed like 2 open receivers on 3rd and 8. Like that's kind of what Cam Ward has been.
Pretty
Something
much.
normal needs to happen here. Jeff says, question for the chat and y'all, 3 years in, was it still the right move to draft Skoronski over Jackson Smith and Jigba? JSN has looked great. The O-line's still bad. I say no. I mean, like, okay, whatever.
I saw a lot of this talk last night.
This is such a, like.
This is so simple. You can put this to bed with one sentence. Drafting a guard in the top 20 is not good positional value. The guard you did draft right now is playing at the top of the league and looks fantastic and is the best piece on a struggling offensive line. So he's very valuable to you. Also, could you have taken a player later that went later in the draft there that was available that would have been more impactful like JSN? Yes. But how many drafts can you go back and say, well, if you'd only taken this guy instead of this guy? So yeah, guards aren't good positional value, but the guard you got's really, really good. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So
should they have done it? Probably not.
They got away with it. Peter Skoronski's far from a draft bust. Far from it. So don't complain about it.
Peter Skoronski's on a very, very, very short list of players on this team right now that deserve a second contract.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll get back to some of those other super chats, but I wanted to get to this because Yinda says, talking to me, didn't you guarantee he's not getting fired this upcoming offseason?
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we will talk about that because we're going to go back in time. 3 weeks ago, I said something, and it's kind of happening. So we will discuss that. That's my tease. 3 weeks ago, I said something, and now it's kind of happening. We'll dive into that to what Yinda said. But first, I'm going to tell you what I've got going on this afternoon. Window Nation coming back over to the house. Why? Because last Friday, got new windows through Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free. Now they've added an extra 10% off on top of that deal for the rest of September, which is just a few more days. But now they're coming over because they got to get those specific measurements. We got our windows. We bought them. We picked them out. We got them organized for all the financing and everything last week. Now today they're coming back over to get the measurements in so they can start their production because this is a 6-ish week process to get the windows installed, and they have been on it. They've been phenomenal to deal with. Window Nation truly had a great experience. I've never bought windows before, but I have been in situations where you feel pressured in a very salesy type moment. Not this at all with Roy. Roy was phenomenal with how he came over. His presentation felt comfortable. He was just hanging out in our house and showing us how we're going to have a better home life because our windows. Major upgrade on the builder grade windows that we have in our home that we've been in for right at 2 years. Getting new windows was on our big list of things we wanted to do, and Window Nation came in the right time for us. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus an extra 10% off on top of that. And financing options, they got plenty of them, but you don't have to pay anything for 2 years. So that's a big deal right there. WindowNation.com. It's only happening the rest of September. So you get today plus 4 more days to do it. Roy in the Nashville area, phenomenal. He really is great. Our sales guy, Andrew, he got new windows on Monday.
Oh, is that right?
That? Yes.
Good for
Roy went over to his house and he got new windows. And then somebody in my neighborhood, I was talking to them. They got new windows because Roy came over to their house too. So it's just Window Nation.
You get new windows. Get new windows.
But seriously, WindowNation.com.
BTA Sports. Use our link in the description below to sign up for a 14-day free trial thanks to our partnership with BTA. 14 days is really all you need if you really abide by what BTA is preaching on that app or that website to make your money back to be able to pay for your $99 annual subscription. That's about as good as you can do. A free analytics program for your betting that is going to pay for itself. Check them out. BTA Sports, better for bettors. We're using them. We're making money. Why not join us?
All right. So Yinda says, didn't you, me, Austin, guarantee us, everybody watching, that he, Brian Callahan, is not getting fired this upcoming season or offseason? Yes, I did.
I love that you're the one getting the heat for it when I'm the one that wrote the big feature article on it.
Yeah, and then I'm taking what you told me. So
yeah,
and in the last, I don't know.
Yeah, Austin, why did you guarantee us that when you? Yeah, I might have written 1,500 words on it, but why did you guarantee it on the internet, huh?
Hey, people pay attention, I guess, that sometimes. And whatever they want to, that's why we do multiple things in media.
It just proves out
that's why we write. That's why we do shows. That's why we do reel. That's
more
why
people
we do posts.
watch than they do read. That's how it works.
I mean, I don't know, all over the place. So anyway, so yes, I did. This was September 5th, 3 weeks ago today. Zach and I doing
so much further ago than
21 days.
It was this. You're telling me it was this month? That doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I'll just let you play it. Second and third year jump, but I think 6 and 11 is fine. I like Yuri says, does 6 and 11 keep Callahan's job? Yes,
that was good. Yuri, that was my follow up.
I mean, I don't. They're going to have. It's going to have to be unmitigated disaster with other stuff for Brian Callahan to get fired. That is I'm sticking my neck as far as I can on that. Unmitigated disaster. Guys, I think we're approaching unmitigated disaster. I do think weird, crazy stuff is happening with Brian Callahan and his management and his decision-making and his inability to manage that we did not see last year. I said earlier this week, because maybe it felt like Will Levis's stuff was covering that up. Maybe it was happening last year, but we didn't notice it because we were too busy watching Will Levis and his pinstripes, right? So, Easton, you have a graphic for the article that you wrote, and right. I'll let you go ahead and walk through that because I think this is what we're truly seeing, because you talked to a lot of people who are in that building, who are below Brian Callahan, who are above Brian Callahan. And so you were able to kind of put everything together overall of what this was back in August when you were doing a lot of this work. So I'll let you kind of take it from here and what you've got.
Well, and notably, I have re-talked to those people this week, but we are revisiting, you and I both having receipts on this and kind of revisiting what we were talking about, you in that video, me in this article. So I'll just kind of read this because this was from my big feature. I said a lot of coaches get fired very early because it's evident they don't know how to scheme up a modern football team, or they can't adjust to the league as it ebbs and flows, or they can't handle situational football decisions, or that their players simply don't respect them. I don't believe that's what the decision makers of this team are worried about with Callahan. He checked those boxes in his first year. Now, I still believe that he checked those boxes in his first year. Has he regressed? Seems pretty clear that at least on one of those, that's the case. The area for growth, as I continue here to read, the areas for growth in Callahan's second year are mostly capital H, capital C, head coaching things. Management, delegation, versatility. The kinds of executive things a coordinator by trade has little experience with. That shouldn't come as much of a surprise given Callahan's background, and the early returns on his growth as a coach in these areas had been, at the time of writing this, largely positive. If you've paid attention throughout the summer, you've probably seen glimpses of this in the offseason program and how his players and coaches speak of his operation. But it's the experience that this front office has in those elements of leadership and Callahan's self-awareness and willingness to grow that I believe gives his bosses confidence in him going forward. I think there's a, quote, we can get him there, end quote, mindset with some of these things while he's already got the technical elements of coaching down. Now, that might sound awkward considering what we have listened to, watched, seen, felt the last 3 weeks, because clearly I stand by all of those things I wrote in terms of reflecting on year one. It is the fact that in year two, we have taken, to me, clear steps backwards in the game management, it really is just game. To me, it's just game management. Like, I listed those 4 things that tend to get coaches fired early, that they don't know how to scheme up modern football team. Well, Callahan's scheme is clearly the least of the worries of this team. The scheme is not the problem.
Yeah, pause there.
Sure.
Because Zach Lyons is in the chat. I see it here. But I saw a tweet from Zach Lyons that Cam Ward leads the NFL in wide open target attempts. 14% of Cam Ward's passes has been to wide open receivers, which means 5 yards of separation or more. It's like leading the NFL in wide open receivers targeted. So that's scheme, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the scheme is not the problem. Like, the play calling in a vacuum was not a problem. The play calling created logistical issues of game management and being the capital H, capital C head coach, right?
Right. I'm trying to. Is that what Zach commented? What did Zach comment?
He had a tweet about it.
Oh, okay.
I just saw he's in the chat.
Gotcha. Hello,
he
Zach.
would just go back and forth, people.
Yeah. So of these things, okay, scheming of modern football team. That's not the issue here. Can't adjust as the league ebbs and flows. Yeah, is anybody
that's not like applicable at this point.
I was about to say, is that the thing that's going to get him fired right now? No.
No.
Does it? You may you have some qualms with his ability to adjust? Absolutely. But is that, if he's fired on Monday morning, is it because of this? No. Can't handle situational football decisions. Bingo. Obviously, right? That would get him fired on Monday morning if he can't handle football situations in this game, having taken the play calling out of his hands. If he still can't do it, the players simply don't respect them. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you want to think that the players that Callahan's lost the locker room, that the players don't respect him, like, I can't tell you what to think. All I can tell you is I'm in the locker room literally every day. I'm talking to these guys on and off the record literally every day. Players, when you're holding the camera up to their face, they're going to say like the company line things for the most part. So I get that. It's like, well, how would you know? They're just going to, they're going to lie to you. When you're talking to these guys without a camera in their face, they don't hold back on certain things. Like it is not hard to understand, if you are actually talking to them and paying attention, what they are in on and what they are out on. And these players are not yet out on Brian Callahan. They really are not. They are currently very down on themselves. There were like 4 different quotes from 4 different guys immediately following the disappointing Colts game in the locker room. And I really should have compiled these, but they were along the lines of, Callahan can't go out there and play. Callahan can't go out there and not commit penalties. Callahan can't go out there and tackle for us. You guys can be mad at Callahan all you want, but I don't know what we're doing because we can't go out there and do the things, obviously. So they were mad at themselves, not him.
Well, and so I want to get to, I'm trying to like, here we are. So Vols 8 on YouTube, who usually is a Will Levis hater, said Will Levis wasn't the big issue. It was coaching and scheme.
It feels like some crazy revisionist history.
Right. And coming from a Vols guy, right? That's a 180 if I've ever seen one.
Let's pull up some Vols XY8 receipts on Will Levis not being the problem last year. I'm sure this
also has to include helping poor offensive line play, but don't do that. Well, I mean, again, Zach Lyons, I remember another tweet from his past this week of time to sack. Only one of the 15 times Cam Ward was sacked so far this season was under 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. There were several that were like north of 5 seconds.
I mean,
and then the majority of them were probably between 3 and 5.
So there's the fact that Cam is holding onto the ball too long when he's getting sacked, and also not helping out the offensive line with some of the ways that he's escaping the pocket. But also last week they allowed 17 pressures, and I think a combined 8 or 9 of them came from the backup right tackles. So that's a big part of it.
Right guard was there too.
Dan Moore last week wasn't the problem. Peter Skoronski last week wasn't the problem. Wood Cushenberry last week wasn't the problem.
Backups
on your right side.
So you have that, right? So you have like Cam Ward's holding the ball in too long. Cam Ward said himself, Cam Ward's mouth said, my fault for like half the sacks. I'm paraphrasing, right? Like, this is the same thing. Remember when I said that Derrick Henry was running soft, and then Derrick Henry said that he was running soft? Like, same thing. So when we are saying Cam Ward's not doing great to get rid of the football, Cam Ward agrees with what we're saying here, because that's what's happening. At the same time, see, this is the problem with all this. So you've got that. You've got Callahan's mismanagement of blunders, whether it's getting the play call in too late, it's creating illegal procedures because they're having to rush at the last second, or he's worried about the next play call instead of challenging a play, or whatever that is. Section 240 has, I wonder how many of those wide open throws were classified as drops. You got that too, because Cam's also throwing to wide open guys that are not catching the football enough of the time. You've got penalties because somebody's saying, Roger, play calling is a big problem. It's hard to call plays when you're consistently in 1st and 15, 2nd and 12, or 3rd and 20, because you have a holding penalty, an illegal man downfield on a screen that worked, a false start that you never saw what was going to happen anyway. And so now you are off of script, or your quarterback takes a sack, or your right tackle olays the defender and gives up a sack, which was the one time that was under 3 seconds. So again, there are so many.
That's right.
problems.
And also, we don't even have to argue the play calling thing because there's a new play caller. Like,
yeah, but again, like they're calling the same plays for the same playbook. So it's going to be very similar. It's just like the play calling isn't going to change much. It is the logistics of how it is being done that should make the entire thing more efficient.
It's not going to change super dramatically. Like, obviously, you're right. It's still the same. It's the same playbook. I have
same game plan, right?
Well, I have heard some things this week that have made me. I'm optimistically curious to see. There are going to be a couple of things about the way that the game is called that are going to be changed by Bo Hardegree because every play caller there's personal taste and preference, and so I've heard a couple things that make me excited to see. Like, listen, he's going to change some things. Are they going to work? Well, are they still bad players out there? If the answer is yes, then maybe not. Like, are they still playing the Texans defense? You know what I mean? But the flow, how does the flow feel? Yeah. He can't call the plays that make the players good, but he can call different plays. And so I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Renault said, but that's coaching, Austin. They're not focused. How do you know they're not focused?
Who's not focused?
You can't prove that. Like, just because a guy gets his ass kicked doesn't mean he wasn't focused. Like, it means he's worse than the guy who kicked his ass on that particular play. Now, I did want to scroll up to something and see if I can find it real fast. I'm gonna have to just move on because like that's the problem with this team is that they have too many average to bad players. That mistakes happen more often. Charles Braun said this is an Adam Gase level. X's and O's guys are prevalent in the league. Great leaders aren't. True. There are guys that can scheme up good stuff, but can they coach up and lead their rosters into a place to execute them? Brian Callahan has regressed in a couple of these areas. So I'm going to play it again. The unmitigated disaster spot where I'm pretty loud on this back and from September 2nd. And third year jump. But I think 6-11 is fine. I like Yuri says, does 6-11 keep Callahan's job? Yes.
That was good. Yuri, that was my follow-up.
I mean, it's going to have to be unmitigated disaster with other stuff for Brian Callahan to get fired. That is I'm sticking my neck as far as I can on that. So we've all said this on A to Z on our show, whether it's us two, JT, Zach, and Buck on primetime, that a win-loss record is not the reason why Brian Callahan would lose his job. Mm-hmm. It is how the win-loss record came to be. Mm-hmm. So unmitigated disaster is what
more specifically in terms of I laid out in the article the scenario for him to be fired in season this season, a la Eberflus with the Bears last year, right? And that was, I forget, was that like week 9 or something?
It was literally the Black Friday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so it was like just past the halfway point.
The whole country watched the big mistake happen. And
and I was about to say that there is prime time job losses are undefeated. Like we just saw Russ Wilson in prime time lose his job. Eberflus did it on. So the one small thing going for Brian Callahan is all of his disasters are in the opposite of prime time this year. There's no big stages that he can possibly be put on blast on.
Yeah, basically our NFL Red Zone goes to the SEPTA box because they don't want to put the Titans in the Octa box. That's how covered up the Titans have been. So,
sorry, I didn't even make my point. My point was the scenario for him to be fired in season, because it's different after the season. We can talk about that. The in-season firing was going to have to be something like Eberflus, where it's very obvious that the coach and his decision-making on Sundays is actively hurting the team. It needed to be a game management thing. That was the one scenario, and we now find ourselves tracking on that one scenario.
Yes.
So it's not that we were like, this is not cope on our part. Like, well, we weren't wrong. Well, no, we clearly laid out the way it would happen if it happened. And unfortunately, so far, he's regressed and it's happening.
Yeah. So we're going to ask this question, and this is a open-ended question. So be creative within, not being vulgar. How close is this Titans season already to an unmitigated disaster. So how close is it already to what I said would get Brian Callahan fired? An unmitigated disaster. Easton, while the answers are rolling in, I will let you tell everybody about Botero carts.
Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart. We appreciate our friends at Botero Carts. They are locally owned and operated. They have 2 locations in the Middle Tennessee area, one in Columbia, one in Gallatin. They're open 7 days a week. They are a full service sales and rental dealership. So go check them out. If you want a golf cart, their carts start at right under $6,800. 0% financing for 36 months. No dealer fees, no credit card fees, no credit option needed. Indoor storage for the cart, so they are in pristine condition. I would love a golf cart, and if I ever get to we're going to move in the spring. If we move to a place that is golf cart friendly, I might just have to hit up our friends at Botero Carts because life is short, and you should buy a golf cart.
Also, BTA Sports, our show is powered by our friends at BTA Sports, Better for Bettors. I told you guys earlier in the show that I used BTA Sports last night for a 3-leg parlay in the NFL. I will tell you that here in a second, but you can download the BTA Sports app, use the link in our show description on Facebook and YouTube, use the code ATOZ. You only have a few days left, 14-day free trial, and then a $99 season pass. When it gets to October, we have a new deal. It's not going to be as good as this one. It's still going to be solid, but not as good as this one. So make sure you jump into it. A 14-day free trial and a season pass for just $99. So if you want to get the best value, if you want to win less bets to make up for your spend on BTA, you do it with this one. 14-day free trial, $99 season pass as well with BTA Sports. So Easton, there were 3 games that I saw where BTA was projecting the team that was favored to win by way more than the Vegas spread. So that's what I'm looking for, is what's the big difference between BTA's projection and the Vegas spread. 3 games, 3 teams, and I parlayed them together. I've got Eagles, I've got Rams, I've got Ravens at the Chiefs, all on the money line.
All right.
Eagles, Rams, Ravens money line. That would be plus 280, plus 290-ish. So I did that last night. Shout out BTA for that. There we go. That's my parlay for the weekend. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll send you back to the chat. How close is this Titans season already to an unmitigated disaster? What's the chat saying?
All right. The chat is saying, if I can find, man, the chat is hot this morning. I keep struggling to find where our questions even.
It's been this whole week.
Begin. We appreciate it. It's just I got to look more alive here. So the question: how close are we? Bama Brad says we're already there. American Toff says we've been there for 3 weeks. Rashad says 85%. We're loading. We're close. It's already that, says Duran. 1 game away, says Rhino. Cameron, unfortunately, we're already there. Darius, on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 7.
Take a look around.
Already there. Train left the station already, Austin. Once the O-line gets Cam hurt, that would be the...
Ooh, man.
Knock on that wood. I hate that I even read that aloud. Last week, I think we were missing like a 1/6 of the NFL's starting quarterbacks already. So that's, not a good start. Ashley, 95%, real close. 9 out of 10, says Jonathan, as close as it has been so far to already being a disaster. Ira Hoshi, more reserved, 40%, had a rough start to the schedule. I do think there's some fairness to the idea. And honestly, screw the Colts for being apparently a juggernaut. Some of their offensive stats have been outrageous. In terms of offensive efficiency through 3 games.
Regress to the mean already. Come on.
No, I know. Well, in terms of offensive efficiency, drive by drive so far this century in the 2000s, the list, and it's only through 3 games, the list is the 16-0 Patriots, number 1, Colts 2025, number 2. That's what we're looking at. So I don't know what you do with that.
Who would have thought, man? Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce.
Listen, and I understand that that's a cope. It's like, oh, the Colts are really good. Like, I get that. I totally do. But at this point, I am genuinely wondering if we're going to look back on the beginning of the season and been like, holy cow, what an outrageous start for the Titans. I do genuinely see the next couple of games, like the Texans haven't won a game. They've got real problems. The Cardinals last night showed some life, obviously, but for most of the game showed that they are eminently beatable and they have some problems. The Thank you. The Raiders. The Raiders.
Yeah, look.
The Raiders clearly have some problems.
The next four. Now the
That's
problem is you got three of them on the road, right?
Yes, but that's neither here nor there for me. Like the Texans, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Patriots. There is no world in which any of those 4 teams are juggernauts when you play them. None. Yeah. None. The Rams, I think, were the best team you play all year long. The Colts are apparently unstoppable right now. The Broncos, I still think, have a top 5 defense in the entire league, and that was a difficult road first game. So, again, not coping. Just saying my expectations for these next 4 games for the Titans are different than they were for those first 3 games. They are.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I hate when people, like, reality doesn't mean coping. It's just we're just trying to put some stuff together. So, So I'm going back to see if we can find some more comments about the unmitigated disaster. Nero says that a Patriots loss would be there. Apple Pie just says have been there since last season. Let's see. There was more. Swan says I agree. Can perform out of this unmitigated disaster. I don't think they're there yet. I think there was a comment. Sorry, the comments are very difficult to get through today because you guys are just kind of like bouncing it all over the place, which is not bad. I'm not complaining.
Are you ready for like I'm not going to derail the conversation, but a very quick update on some things we've talked about here on the show a couple of times?
Well, I did find my comment. Let me get to that one, and then I'll let you have
it. All right. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to save it for good news. This is good news. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Daniel says, Austin, what do we do if Bo puts up 40 points this weekend, but Callahan still makes disastrous game management moves?
It's not happening.
You can't. I mean, it's unlikely to happen.
The 40 points part, I should say, not the management.
Okay.
I'm talking about scoring 40 on this Texans team.
Yeah. Okay, that's
because people are looking at like Hardegree's resume from when he called plays with the Raiders and like, oh, they hung 63 on the Chargers. That was because the entire Chargers, all 53 players on the Chargers team, had given up on their head coach in a primetime spot. Like, you scored the points. Congratulations, you scored the points. That if you watched that game, which I did start to finish, it was not about the offensive play calling for the Raiders. You're not scoring 40 on the Texans this week. Can you get to 20? That'd be nice. Let's get to 20. Can we start with 20? Yeah. Texans defense is really good, folks.
Very. And me just says the next 4 games are all winnable. They are. But this team has struggled to put together a consistent half of football.
I think what he's, at least when I say that,
it's
the next 4 are winnable. What I'm saying is that not that they're going to win those games. My point is that my expectations for them are higher in terms of what the competition level from them. Like, they need to be competitive in these games in a way that I had a little bit more understanding for them being less competitive in the first 3 games.
I think you can win. I think you split these next 4.
I do too.
With 3 of them on the road. Like, the Cardinals aren't anything special. The Raiders have issues, and the Patriots do too. The Patriots win is over the Dolphins, who are also thinking about firing their coach because he stinks too.
By the way, the Patriots, it's funny that, Mike Vrabel, world's best coach. And I it's gone overboard. I actually always have been and still am a Mike Vrabel supporter in terms of I think that he's a good NFL coach, but they are struggling with basically the same things the Titans are struggling with.
But it's year 1 for him, right? Because Jordan.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like,
season.
No, I'm not saying it's the same timeline and like Vrabel's on the hot seat by any means, but I'm like, they also can't stop committing penalties. Unlike the Titans, they can't stop turning the ball over. Their defense is sloppy and can't stop anybody right now. Like, it's kind of a bizarro world Titans situation going on up there right now.
Right.
And their quarterback is struggling, which the Titans don't have that issue yet.
Totally. All right. So do we have more comments to get to, or did you want to? I mean, we have a lot of super chats. They're not all necessarily about this situation, but like, okay, did you answer the unmitigated disaster? Because I don't think either of us have.
Well, how
close are they to an unmitigated disaster already?
My answer is they're awfully close. It will officially be an unmitigated disaster if this weekend, with play calling no longer on Brian Callahan's plate, there are still inexcusable game management errors. Then it will officially be DEFCON 1 red alert unmitigated disaster. So I don't, whatever we're at right now, like whether that's 75% of the way there, 85, like, I don't really care. The point is that we are one non-play calling game where there's still inexcusable management errors away from full-blown nightmare.
I agree. That's at the very beginning of the show. I said in different words, but I'll just repeat it differently. Brian Callahan getting fired on Monday is 100% on the table to be a reality after this weekend. It takes specific things to get there, like what we're saying. Is like I think if the Titans lose, they just lose normally in a football game, then that's not going to happen. But if he is the reason why they continue to mess up and continue to be ineffective and continue to not get more points on the board, like if Brian Callahan individually is negatively affecting the scoreboard, that's a problem because we've seen it now twice in 3 games, negatively affecting the scoreboard at the end of the first half against the Broncos and then negatively affecting it at the end of the first half against the Colts. Then you've got the Alec Alexander elbow thing that was everybody remembers that play as like, oh, the Titans were going to score a touchdown the next play if they just reviewed that. No, that's not how it was. We are making that moment bigger than what it actually would. It would have helped tremendously, but it wasn't like they were automatically going to put points on the board if Alec was in bounds like he was and reviewed. But if Brian Callahan negatively impacts the scoreboard based off of bad decisions and the Titans lose embarrassingly, I think it happens. But now that's I just went through a 3-leg parlay of Rams, Eagles, Ravens that is plus 288 for me. BTA Sports shout out. I think this is like a 5-leg parlay and the odds are probably like plus 950.
All I will add is that if it does happen on Monday, to me, it will not be hard to figure out who and why.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's one person, Amy, and with the candlestick in the foyer.
Right. But to on the other side of that, I also maintain my belief based on the work I've done this week. I maintain my belief that still the last thing that this front office or this ownership group wants to do is fire Brian right now. You can choose to believe that or not.
Yeah.
This is not like they're licking their chops to come running out the gate to fire the guy. They are deeply conflicted about, I think they are deeply conflicted about this situation and everything that I wrote in that article, because that article about Callahan's job security, kind of the crux of the thesis was it's more about Cam than it is about Brian. It's more about not messing up Cam. It's more about recognizing, being painfully aware of the fact that more organizations fail young quarterbacks than young quarterbacks fail young organizations. And so no matter how obvious it feels that you have to fire Brian right now, kind of like I don't know if you and I talked about this on the air or off the air earlier this week, but I'll just repeat it in case we didn't.
We've talked a lot. Both
I know.
Ways.
I feel like obviously the hot seat, the pressure for Callahan's job is rising, but I think most fans see it as rising in real time, like this week, next week, the next week. To me, the pressure is almost entirely on the end of year thing still, on the, well, let's evaluate everything once the season is over. I still think that the in-season fire-o-meter is relatively low because no matter how crazy it's been, and it's been crazy at times so far this year, the facts from that article from before the season remain that they really, really, really don't want to do that, especially early, especially in the middle of the first season to Cam.
Yeah.
So it's a tough spot.
Now, I do think
Brian might force their hand.
Here's an interesting wrinkle to it, though. But because Callahan has given up play calling, I'm not saying Monday, but in general, does it make it easier to fire Callahan because somebody else has experience calling plays for and with Cam later in the year?
Only if you think you can retain that guy, but I don't.
But you
I
hear
don't
what
know
I'm
why
saying?
you would think that you can. You know, like that's not really.
So you're talking about for like next season.
Yeah, I mean so you're talking. I mean, I get what you're saying that like it's going to maintain some continuity for him play calling wise in season.
I'm
this
going
year.
in season.
I know.
Yeah.
But it still is not going to change anything about going beyond this season.
Sure, but I'm talking about like the reason why, like, if the decision is made, Brian Callahan will not coach in 2026.
Right.
Now, the variables are the levers are like, do you fire him in season or after season? I think you can. It is more of an option slightly for Callahan to get fired in season because now somebody else is calling plays.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Camp. Okay,
I'd say that's fair.
So I think here's the other thing too on this. It's week 4, Brian Callahan, Brian Daboll, both Brians have already used a big card. Right? Giving up play calling, Jackson Dart. It's already happened that quick for both of them.
Yeah, just wait until Callahan benches Cam for Brandon Allen. That's next.
See, yeah, I don't know if anybody cares, but like, who guys in deeper doo-doo? Which guys in deeper doo-doo?
Of Daboll or Callahan?
Yeah.
At the moment, it's Callahan.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it was fair enough. All right, so
yeah.
I'm just curious. Let's get into some super chats, and we have another question about what we're expecting and demanding from this team in this game. But first, Easton, tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute, our longtime friends here on the morning show, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine at boneandjointtn.org. Whenever you get hurt in life, you got to know who to trust. The Bone and Joint Institute is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help you recover. They do everything under one roof for your convenience. Clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab. Schedule an appointment today at boneandjointtn.org.
BTA Sports, download the app. The link is in the Facebook title, the YouTube description. You click on the link, you download the app. If you're on Apple, you just get a 14-day free trial for a $99 season pass. You can only get that over the next 5 days through the end of the month. If you're an Android, you might be prompted to use a code. That is ATOZ. ATOZ, once again, a 14-day free trial and a $99 season pass. BTA gives you analytics, projections, and numbers on sports betting for the NFL, also player props, so you can use it for fantasy football, daily fantasy football as well. Again, my parlay for the weekend is Eagles, Rams, and Ravens money line. BTA likes them to cover the Vegas spread tremendously, like by a lot, like by over a touchdown to 2 touchdowns, all 3 games. Yeah, like a lot. So that is why and the money line prices are great individually, like minus 190, minus 190, minus 150 or something like that. All right. Pretty solid there with BTA Sports. So download the app today with the links in the Facebook title and YouTube description. Okay. So I'll go to some super chats. King VC, lock in, like the show. If you haven't liked the show yet, please do so. That would go a long way for us. We greatly appreciate that.
Indeed.
Andre has a couple. The football, more is hot trash, as a lot of us knew. 0 pass rush. Wide receivers are either young / inexperienced or old and trash. Secondary is soft. O-line is shaky. Coaches inexperienced. Nailed it. Andre continues with football talk. We talk non-football because the years of dysfunction and ineptitude of the front office has led to the dysfunction and the ineptitude we see on the field. We hope it improves.
Of course.
Boom. I think Andre,
he's all over it.
Could not have used your emojis any better. And then Amnesia. The story Monday will be whether or not it was Callahan coaching or play calling that got them the win. We all know what the story will be. Is Amnesia predicting a win?
I don't know, but this brings back up the point that I meant to circle back to earlier, that from
Devin's comment earlier.
Yeah. I feel pretty strongly that Callahan's in a no win, because if the play calling or the offense feels improved, it's going to be the bow parade. And if things feel bad still, he's just going to get the blame for it.
Titans Kyle had it 100%. It's no win for Cal. If they struggle offensively, fans will still blame him. They play well. They say, see, Callahan sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it for sure. All right, Swan. Us booing at home, I think, did put fire up under the organization's ass as a whole. We're going to come out and play in Houston. Ridley catches a bomb. Will Calvin Ridley wear the blinder goggles in the game?
If there were ever a week for Calvin Ridley to just come online and drop 120 yards, oh boy, would this be it. Also, especially the case if Stingley is not out there, and we'll find out today whether or not he's trending. So far, the trend is not good for him to be out there. Calvin's not really, I mean, I think in week 1 we kind of saw this. against Denver. Calvin's not somebody that tends to do super well up against the alphas, but when you aren't a team that has a true, top 5, top 10 corner, then he's supposed to be able to crush you all day. So maybe that can happen this weekend.
So Calvin Ridley is the Dan Moore of wide receivers.
How dare you?
Just what you just said.
No, I didn't.
You've explained Dan Moore the exact same way.
So
Ruvuko says it was just too many mistakes in a short time for Brian to have a season 5-10's questionable decision. Probably has every coach. To have in a season 5 to 10 questionable decisions probably has every coach. This is I can't read that anymore. I messed up. I don't know if that messed up. If there was I don't know.
Pull it back up. We got to decipher.
I think he's saying that. Did I have a stroke or
probably every coach has 5 to 10 questionable decisions in a season. Would be interesting to know what the actual average is for coaches dealing with this. But he's saying that it's too many in a short period of time, is what he's saying.
Yes, I know Cervuko is an international viewer with the currency there.
It's probably got lost in translation. Yeah.
Yes.
We got there.
Chat GPT or what? So, Cervuko is in Swiss. That's a Swiss currency right there.
In Swiss.
Swiss, yes.
That's where he lives. Is Swiss.
Just like the Titans defense,
Switzerland.
Amnesia. This team has improved in every state through 3 weeks. Scored more points, more yards, less sacks, and overperformance, minus Callahan's dumbness.
Technically true.
Technically, statistically accurate. Allowed 6 sacks, 5 sacks, 4 sacks.
We're going for 3 this week, folks.
12 points. 12 points. What was it? 16 points.
17 points. 19 points. 20.
Yeah.
No,
12, 19, 20.
Yeah.
More yards. 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns.
So this week we need 3 sacks, 21 points, and no dumb things.
I mean, the next thing is 3 touchdowns, right? 0, 1, 2.
Yeah. You know what? This is a dumb thing, but I'll plant my flag. If the Titans score 21 points, they have 3 or fewer sacks, and they don't do any game management nonsenses, then all will be well on Monday morning.
There's no way they only give up 3 sacks.
I didn't say that they're going to do it. I'm just saying
that's the one thing. The one thing I do not expect out of all the things we just listed.
I'm going to go look at what the.
And you know what? They've gone less penalties. They've gone 13, 10, 8. See?
Was that right?
Yeah.
So, listen.
The yards,
you put it that way, Titans are pretty good at football, actually.
The yards was like 130, 200, 260, something like that. Improving, guys. They're improving. Playoff.
I don't know what to say to all this.
Chill out, everybody. You guys are so mad over nothing.
You guys are such haters, bro. Look at the numbers.
Look at the improvement from week 1 to week 3, guys. Look. No, week 1 they had a chance to win. Week 3 they did not.
I'm going to see what Vegas has the over/under on Cam sacks, but apparently they don't have one, so never mind.
No. Okay. All right. Are you ready for some? I think we got all the super chats. Yeah, we did. All right. It is now time. Oh, wait. What are you demanding from this team? We were going to ask this as an audience question.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone for way too long.
I'm demanding.
What is fair to demand against this Texans team? 0-3, but the Texans have a very good defense. The Titans have injuries still on the O-line, all that stuff. So what's fair to demand here?
There are a couple of things that are fair to demand, but number one on my list is this team obviously doesn't have a pass rush. Not really going to have one all year long. That's the reality of it. I do think Denard Wilson could do a better job scheming some rush looks, utilizing his pieces more effectively, and he talked to that end in his press conference this week. This Texans pass protection situation is eminently gettable. They stink. So I'm demanding it doesn't even have to be impressive, just like any push on CJ Stroud. It has to happen this week. If they can't get a little pressure on Stroud this week, then they ain't getting pressure on nobody all year long.
Yeah.
That's my demand.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm demanding no drops over
it.
0
good demand.
drops.
Good demand.
And I think Calvin Ridley win a contested catch. Make a play. Like I get the open ones are great. You catch the open ones, get open more. Just do more of that. But seriously, catch the ball when it comes to you the first time, not drop it the second time.
Right.
So I think that's my main demand here is, that alone just gives the offense more life, more opportunity, more competitive spirit and confidence. And just
100%.
Ramon, just play clean, disciplined football, please. How about this? Here's another demand. Do not, for the love of everything, do not line up offsides on defense. Please. I swear. You cannot do that. Stop it. It's not hard. Scoot back an inch. Talk to somebody. Ask the ref. Ask the guy next to you. If you are too far up, scoot back. Please. Draymond Jones, Jeffrey Simmons, L'Jarius Sneed, others. Stop doing that. It's so avoidable. It's dumb. Please. I hate that so much.
I'm with you. I just have no hope
that it's avoidable thing you can do in the sport of football.
Austin, you're not going to be on the show on Sunday. Who's winning?
I will be there though.
I know, but who's winning?
The Texans are winning this game.
Okay. Score?
30-21.
Oof. Another 30 points allowed to the only they're basically the only offense in the league that has been worse than you. The Texans have hardly scored 30 points total through 3 games. You think they're going to double their total against the Titans?
They're going to regress to the mean.
Tough. All right.
But we will be there at the Land Shark Bar and Grill at Margaritaville, 4th and Broadway. So Easton and JT are doing the show. I'm just going to be hanging out. So if you want to come and hang out with me, we can mock and throw tomatoes.
You can come heckle with Austin.
Yes. I mean, I could be Statler if somebody wants to be my Waldorf. Let's go do it. We can absolutely have fun with that. Shout out to Traveler Whiskey and Miller Lite. So on 4th and Broadway, the parking is really easy. Like when you think of downtown, you think of like parking nightmares. Nope. The 333 Commerce building is right behind Margaritaville. You park in there. It's easy. It's walking. It's simple. It's a great, easy garage to get to from Church Street. So make sure you come hang out with us every game. Margaritaville, 4th and Broadway, 2nd floor at Land Shark. Let's go ahead and get to good news. Shout out to our friends at Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon. Save some money right there with your new ride, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So good news for everybody in the chat. Crispin just says, no screens, please. That's you're going to need screen game to work well in this game against Will Anderson, and don't call him Danielle Hunter. So what are you seeing in the good news? Actually, I see Daniel says, tomorrow is his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
After a beach barbecue with friends, I get to watch my Ducks against Penn State Nittany Lions. Oh, man. The college football slate is going to be electric.
Sick.
Like in college football, you kind of have to go through the last weeks of the schedule to get to this week's of the schedule. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fine.
It's going to be good stuff.
Last week still had some weird stuff happen too.
Yep. It's a good one. Let's see. Great news from Jeff. My uncle is up and doing at least one lap around the hospital floor 3 times a day, 1 week after open heart, double bypass surgery, rehab soon. Holy, good for your uncle. That is great news. Thank God for that. Tall Texan, good news. The real UT is off this week and giving Arch more time to heal his shoulder. All right. Good news from Nick.
This conspiracy theorist, Tall Texan, buys the conspiracy that Arch Manning is hurt.
Shocking. Good news. Going to Manhattan, Kansas today, Nick.
The
most important Manhattan in our 48. Playing golf with friends and watching some bad K-State football tomorrow. Go Cats. That sounds like a weekend right there.
K-State is bad.
Yeah, well, it's tough. So a random super chat appears from Titans Coliseum. Doesn't it make more sense to fire Callahan sooner rather than later since the Titans interview process sucks? Let's see what Denard can do. I don't think so. My answer is no.
That's not the point. Yeah, it's Cam. Anyway.
Right, but thank you for the super chat.
But again, like, you do get to start earlier the sooner that you know, right? It's like there is something to not, you don't want to be
good to be early, but September is not, you're not doing anything coach hiring in September. That ain't happening.
You're standing in line and the store hasn't opened yet for like another 3 months. So chill,
It's like lining up and you're literally lining up for a Black Friday deal today. You're going to be standing out there for a while.
It's about the right timeline.
Yeah. Jake, good news. Bama gets back on everyone's radar tomorrow night. Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they have an awesome game so that then when Vandy marches into Bama and whips up on them boys next week, then it's going to be a really...
But this is realistic. If Georgia beats Bama, Vandy goes to Bama next week as the higher ranked team.
No, I know. Either way, I'm going to be...
Either way, it's wild.
Either way, I'm going to be pleased.
Yeah, either way, next week, yes, it's going to be awesome.
Can't wait. Let's see. Brantley says, I'm not sure if it's good news. My daughter's going to her first school dance. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sunday is the 36th birthday of one Nero 89. So happy early birthday to you, Nero.
I'm guessing I know what that 89 stands for.
Sure. My wife taking her to first college volleyball game in the new Kansas State volleyball. A lot of K-State mentions.
K-State people in here. That's
this is
random.
news to me. Let's see.
Is there a Kansas State player the Titans drafted that did something that were no? The answer is no.
No. Literally the only K-State player in the league right now.
But
Oh, true. Yeah, way back. Justin, good news. My bully is pulling through after surgery. My kids threw him a corn on the cob. Huh? What is this? What's happening here?
Dog. Not good. Surgery went well, successful. So
surgery because he had corn on the cob,
or probably swallowed the
whole
cob part.
Oh, well, that would make sense then. Wow.
Yeah.
Cap says, Easton, is your housemate witch person gone? Which brings me to my good news. Austin, in the middle of the show, I got word from downstairs that there's a moving truck outside of our house. So the lady was asked to move by the end of the month. The end of the month is upon us. I was not optimistic that it was going to happen, but knock on wood, it had been over a week since we'd had any smell issues. So as much as that wasn't really any progress, I was too busy with the rest of my life to really continue to dig on it and was basically going to wait for something new to happen. And I'm happy that it's this instead of there being a smell again.
You've been digging in the other areas. Why did Jarvis Brownlee get traded?
Yeah, trying to live my life and not deal with a crazy lady next to me.
Now, to me, it sounds like she was asked to move the same way that Brian Callahan was maybe asked to give up play calling.
Perhaps. I don't feel good about it. Really, I don't. Maybe I'm just too nice a person. It makes me a little bit sick that this lady is having to pick up a move right after she moved in, but she kind of left us no choice.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of broke the rules of her lease, which is that's what happens.
She's a nice enough lady and she's on her own that I still feel a little bit bad for her.
I still think, okay, well, what happens first? She is fully out or Brian Callahan gets fired?
She's fully out.
So you think Callahan survives to the road trip?
Yeah. There's another thing happening in my There's another thing happening in my life that is I feel bad, but not bad enough to not. I feel bad, but also my happiness exceeds my feeling badness. So this is a morbid good news, but you know what? I'm going to share it anyways. My wife, her family, we are lucky enough to live right in between both of our parents, 5 minutes in either direction. So we lean on them a lot, especially with Valerie. Her parents' house has always been a place that I have to tiptoe around because they have two older dogs, big dogs that, her and I've been dating her since high school. We've been dating for, we're nearing 8 years, 9 years, a decade. I don't know. It's been a long time that I've been going over to that house. Been there hundreds of times. And I'm a prisoner in that house because everywhere I go, I have to make sure the dogs are not, because they have never, ever liked me. They're I don't know how to put it. One of them is literally a special needs dog.
Where's this going? Where are you taking this?
I'm taking this to...
You're stringing me along to being very sad.
Well...
What are you doing here?
The dogs are at the end of their life. And
what are you doing here?
No one in the family... It's gotten to the point where no one in the house really likes the dogs anymore. And I have never liked the dogs because they have always hated me. And after this weekend, I won't be a prisoner in that house anymore. So... just kind of sharing that.
I agree with Caps.
Dogs are good judges of care. Well, I mean, one of them literally is special needs and hates anyone that's not in the family. So I guess everyone that's not in that family is a bad
you
person.
Haven't been, well, you are in the family.
No, like I mean, anyone that was not with them when they first got to the house. Anyone, any human being on the planet that is not one of 6 people, they can't stand.
I agree with Eric.
You dog people are crazy.
This was the worst. Why did you share this?
Because to me, it is good news. Sorry.
You should have ended with the lady moving out, the moving truck in front. You should have stopped.
It's bringing me a sick
pleasure
to see you not happy about this.
I'm kind of.
I know that you're you're a big dog person. I know, huge dog person.
I agree with Lucas.
The dogs lived a long, fruitful life. They're both like 15 years old.
Stop. Just stop.
They're not dead. They're currently alive right now.
Stop. It's enough.
How would you feel if you spent a decade as a prisoner in your spouse's home? How would you feel about that?
It just doesn't happen.
Right, but if put yourself in my shoes, how would you how pleased would you be if you couldn't freely move about the house of your
I would have adjusted.
What does that mean?
I mean, you're giving me I would have adjusted things. I would have changed quite a bit. I would have altered how I approach the situation. Like I would have been less of a threat. Clearly, I
spent 10 years doing everything to warm up to these dogs.
I don't believe you.
Okay, well, you can take the dog's side. That's the wrong side, but you can take their side if you'd like. Even the owners of the dogs are ready to be done with the dogs. Well, you're the only person sad.
Maybe it's their fault.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I don't even know what to do now.
Listen, I don't like the dogs. Those dogs in particular, I don't like them. I have every right to not like those dogs.
I'm trying to come up with good news
and I'm not happy that this is the way that it has to be. But
you should have just not even brought this up. Like you should have just stopped after the neighbors moving out.
I know that you
Andre,
feel that way.
this guy's neighbor burned sage.
Spirit. I can be the bad guy on this. It's okay. I'm still right.
I'm at a loss of words.
It's to be clear, it's not like this is happening because the dogs are unliked. It's happening for medical reasons. It's time.
Yeah, but you didn't have to like have a parade on the internet.
I'm not parading. I'm just saying
you made it your good news. You just keep that to yourself.
Well, Ashley says your in-laws are watching this. If they are, they already know. I mean, my in-laws are keenly aware of how I feel about these dogs.
This is things that you just don't press send.
I knew that it wouldn't be received well. That's why I brought it up. I brought it up because I knew it wouldn't be received well and it would make you uncomfortable. I did preface it with this as a morbid good news.
I know I should have cut you off.
Well, you didn't.
All right, this is the only way I know how to end this show.
What's your good news? You didn't share good news.
My friend, the zombie, Jonathan, you're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great zombie. And